This dish is really one of my favorites. I actually made this dish when I was going on the taste. I had never made shrimp and grits, and Anthony Bourdain loved it, so I've been making it ever since in honor. So mine is, I take some butter, melt it down, and I toast the grit. I like to add flavor wherever I can. So by toasting the grit, it gives it a nice buttery flavor. In the South, they serve grits. There's a huge controversy about sugar grits or a more savory salt and pepper grit or a cheddar grit, and people fight about it. So we're just adding in some water with the grits. So you see that we're just kind of mixing the butter and the grits together. We're not really trying to like brown them or anything like that, just trying to give them a little flavor, right? And then in here we have our water. We're using a whisk because we're hoping not to have lumps. So you kind of want to...
No lumps right now, everybody.
Yeah.
I can tell you, close. There's no lumps happening in here.
And just a
It's
pinch
nice.
of salt, just for good measure.
Sometimes you get a little nervous when it comes to cooking. However, the way Chef Huda explains it to you, step by step by step, anyone could do it.
For people who are just starting out to cook with shrimp, because it kind of tells you when it's done, right? It curls up, it changes color, the firmness gets a little tighter. So you kind of see, if it gets up in a ball like this, you've done too much. But it kind of lets you know like, hey, I'm curling, I'm almost done, I'm ready.
Oh, ready. So just watch
yeah.
it. Just, yeah.
So really just pay attention to your food. Same thing with meats. Typically your meats, if you guys do this with your hand, everyone do this real quick. So this is usually my go-to. So like if you're raw, right? You're right here. And then as it cooks, it firms up kind of like your hand does.
What I liked about the demo was interaction, obviously, between Lisa and Huda. And there were a couple of little tips that I got, especially about how not overcooking our meat. We tend to overcook our fish and poultry. But again, how to test that. And just generally, just the atmosphere. It was a nice experience.
So I'm gonna add just a little heavy cream, maybe about half a cup, depending on how much grit you're making. And then we're gonna add in our cheeses. So today we're using a sharp white cheddar and a medium cheddar blend because I like the complexity of the two flavors, I like how they complement each other. The sharp gives you a nice little bite, and then the fact that it's white cheddar gives you a nice little tang as well, and a little nuttiness. So now we have a beautiful grit already, and we're gonna add in some sweet corn. This sweet corn, today we used usually I like to use a fresh corn, but we got a canned corn. So if you get a canned corn, make sure that you just drain it of the liquid. If you're using fresh corn, a nice roasted corn is nice in here because it adds that nice roasty smokiness. But today we're using this. So it just adds it in, and this is sweet corn, so it's a different texture, right? We've gone savory, we've gone with a little salt, a little butteriness. So the sweet corn, as you're eating this dish, it gives you a nice little sweetness, and it's a nice little nod to the fact that it's two types of corn in one dish. Whenever you're reducing something, you kind of can tell when your sauces are done when it does this, right?
Oh,
that nice
okay.
coat, you can kind of go through it.
That's tip number 4. We're going good.
It's really nice and kind of stays where you need it to be. Now, everything that we just did is kind of savory, kind of, luscious. So I like to add a fresh element. So we have our cherry tomatoes here.
I love cherry tomatoes. They're very, very
And we got
nice.
fancy, we got the multicolored variety. And we're just gonna add a little parsley. When you do this with your tomatoes, if you're a tomato fanatic like I am, taste your tomatoes first. If they're too tart, you can add a tiny bit of sugar in here. If they're perfect, add a little salt, a little pepper. I like to add a little lime juice or lemon just to kind of cut everything that we just did because everything else is kind of so heavy. So it just brings a nice brightness and freshness to the dish. And then as the tomatoes sit on here, they kind of get a little warm as well. So that's really nice. And we're just gonna take this, let everyone get friendly, add a little salt, and we are ready to plate.
Wow, that's nice.
How's the kitchen feeling? You guys good? All right, good.
That's really nice. We got our grits, we got our sauce, we got that luscious shrimp. Oh,
all we gotta do is plate now.
We're gonna plate now. You know what comes after plating? Tasting.
Are you guys ready to taste? I need a lot of noise so the kitchen can hear you.
Come on.
Yes, great.
For me, as I said before, I love Barbados. And really, when I got the invite, I was like, yes, it's not a question if. It's just what am I doing? Because any opportunity I can have to come back here and experience more of the culture, the food, and the people, I love. So I feel very honored to be here because they could have picked any chef, and I feel very honored to be here and just share just a little bit of what we do back in the States with you all.
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Huda Moomin and I'm here at the Food and Rum Festival in Barbados. I'm having a wonderful time. If you missed it, the food, the people, the culture, you have to come. You have to visit. We're having a delicious time. Where are you? I should see you next year, yes? Okay, good. Bye, you guys.